Booster Gold, despite his amazing looking outfit and look and bright attitude that one could say in Justice League Action, the show and stuff, he was actually born poor. Oh yeah, his name is Michael John Carter, by the way. He was born in the 25th century Gotham City. Him and his twin sister never knew their father because he left after gambling away all their money and stuff. However, was a gifted athlete, attending Gotham University on football scholarship at Gotham U. He was a starter quarterback until his father re-entered his life and convinced him to deliberately lose games for gambling purposes. He was then exposed, disgraced, and expelled. Later, he was able to secure a job as a night watchman at Metropolis Space Museum, where he studied displays about superheroes and villains from the past, because he's way in the future, obviously, particularly in the 20th century, which caught his interest. With the help of a security robot named Skeets, Michael stole devices from the museum displays, including a Legion superhero's flight ring and Brainiac 5's force field belt. He used Rip Hunter's time machine, also on display in the museum, to travel to the 20th century, intent on becoming a superhero and forming a corporation based around himself to make a comfortable living. That's why he got all this gear. This is basically what I just said, him showing them stealing the stuff from the museum, raiding museum exhibits, creating superhero identity, stuff like that. Even says powers and weapons. Booster's augmented suit gives him super strength and projects him with force fields. His gauntlets emit destructive energy beams, while his stolen ring allows him to fly. His companion Skeets possesses combat capabilities but can act independently and flies under his own power. And just in case you still didn't believe me, here's a diagram of all his equipment: force field belt, Legion flight ring, wrist blasters, power rods. Thanks to him being a football star, he's pretty athletic and stuff. It's implied that he's probably good enough to sign up for the Olympic team. It's stated here. Decently good at acrobats, as you can see in training. He even says, Skeets, are you a drill sergeant or something? And he even states he's not even at his prime right here, basically, saying he depends on his suit's mechanical power a lot of the time, but right now he's not really using the suit's mechanical power, you know, just his raw skills as a human. And of course, he has to have basic combat training, like fighting this stuff, uses strategy and tactics against this big thing, gets his head off. He even states it must be invincible on the outside, but not in the inside. Goes inside using critical thinking skills in the heat of battle, stuff like that. Things that you just have no choice but to respect. Oh, he literally has a force field generator that can eat attacks from Mongol ship. Even energy blast from Trigon, Raven's father, you know, the abstract type tier being. He's endured energy blast from characters like Cyborg Superman, thanks to his shield. Olmec type beings, like these little things that be fighting the League, kind of reminds you of Amazo. Battle feats with all these kind of beings, like even a giant punch from Sinestro, for example. Power suit's pretty good. Even against Eobard Thawne, right? Another occasion of him defecting lasers or beams just in general. And he's even fought Doomsday, heck, even contained Doomsday for a bit. He stated instead of using his force field to contain himself, he used it to contain Doomsday instead. Pretty good strategy, wouldn't you say? This kind of proves that thanks to his suit's durability or force fields, he can endure attacks from Superman level beings. I mean, because Doomsday ain't holding back, you know? So this kind of just confirms that his suit is that durable. I mean, if it was anybody else, we would be like, okay, he's not hitting as hard as, but Doomsday doesn't give a crap. So thanks to his shielding, I mean, his shields can even contain a blast from a nuclear submarine, for example. Trying to take the fame away from Supernova. Crazy, funny, right? Contained all that. And another occasion of him reflecting high-speed projectiles in a battle feat yet again. This guy even states, I've taken on the Green Lantern and lost. Like now. He even states, you're not in my league. His force field allows him to contain blasts from one of the Manhunters. Force field projector. Wait a minute. You're probably thinking, wait a minute, does this already confirm that Booster Gold is a Superman tier? Well, here's the thing. He kind of just has the most impressive showings when it comes to durability, but when it comes to offensive power, he seems to be lacking in that department. What do I mean by this? His force field generation when it comes to defense seems to be completely unrelated to what his blasters can do. Usually, I would rank somebody's durability comparable to their overall blast power, but since these two devices seem to produce two completely different functions, it's hard to rank him having the same blast power as much force as he can protect himself against, right? So he can toss the car pretty far with his raw strength, though. He carries a plane on more than one occasion. These planes can be around 500 tons. Oh yeah, it's consistent when it comes to his raw strength to be able to carry these planes. This one has got to be at least 80 tons. You know what I'm saying? He's got in a scuffle with Mongols, slinging them through concrete, showing some form of attack power with his physical strength thanks to his power suit. And he even has these wrist blasters, destroy stuff on Mongol's ship. He fights on par with this guy named Peter Platinum, his DC 1 million counterpart, basically. He can blast through solid metal. piece right here. It just goes right through it and keeps going. He takes down an android member of the World Flush Games with these wrist blasters, so they come in handy when they need to be. Honorable member of the Sinestro Corps. That's funny. Resisted Maxwell Lord's telepathy. Yeah, his force field is airtight, where gas can't just leak into it. His goggles have a zoom in feature. Should. What's the point of the goggles, right? Supervision. When it comes to raw physicals, I would say he's definitely above the Batman tier physically, but Batman probably used like a battle suit to take him or something. But like, yeah, just normal Batman with no battle suit, I feel like he would be too much for him thanks to his force field being able to take Superman tier blows, and his physical strength is no slouch, either being able to lift over hundreds or 300s of tons. His power suit being able to lift all this must translate to his punching power, because whatever you can lift, you can hit harder. Just like me and you in real life can hit harder than what we can lift. So this should apply to him. So that means he more than likely probably can live or punch with thousands of tons of force, if we're being honest. Thousands of tons of punching power is no easy feat, so that's something to be respected on top of his hacksy stuff. He explains his blasters here. He can set it to low or strong enough to blow through 2 feet of solid concrete, and he talks about his shield. I've already showed you what his shields can do. This kind of gives you an idea that he got super strength, circuitry still works, and by reverse polarity on the force shield, I can absorb an object's mass into the field. These wristbands control the energy supply for the whole uniform, but they also have communicators that allow me to monitor all frequencies. Goggles have infrared capabilities and enlargement lenses like binoculars too. Not to mention that he literally has equipment like the time sphere to literally go back in time if he has to. So that's pretty hacksy. No matter how powerful you are, if he has the ability to go back through time, he can kind of beat you by making you not be born or something. But that would also jack up the timeline. So, but yeah. It's one of those machines that belonged to Rip Hunter. So this is the time sphere, but was stolen from the museum, aka Booster Gold stole it from the museum. Magic little flying ring, he says, allows him to fly and stuff, you know. And he can lift the bad boy up with his strength, of course. Epic, showing his superhuman strength. Kind of showing his power. He kind of slugged it out with Brainiac 5. The reason they're even fighting is because all of them were attempting to do the same when it comes to saving the president from assassination. You know, DC's version of these presidents, of course. His suit is strong enough to destroy these helicopters. The hero, thanks to you, Booster Gold, is actually one of the reasons why Ronald Reagan's life got saved. He even led a group of beings known as the Conglomerate for a little bit. He had his own thing he led, you know, respected. They even state he was the leader here. And as a team, they have fought super beings together, like on this occasion using his little wrist blasters, blast power type of thing, working together with the group, putting in that work, working together. Bro, how the heck did they get such realistic looking suits like this and Booster Gold just gets out of this suit? Oh yeah, he can shield himself and others with his personal force field, blasting. He's even on this group known as the Super Buddies. It's a fair assumption that his flight speed is at least supersonic, right? Punching androids, super strength, blasters, shielding, blast repulsion, stuff like that. Yeah, Booster Gold is still around recent days, but doesn't have as many showings, of course, because he's not like DC's priority. But I would say his battle suits look pretty different and unique here, and they are cool and they still get the job done super strength-wise, wouldn't you say? During this big multiversal DC Convergence event, Booster Gold was one of the few beings captured, like Brainiac was capturing a whole bunch of time travelers to use their energy, showing that he's a competent time traveler and can manipulate time travel to his needs. Like all these different time travels was captured by one entity, which is impressive. And of course, you can't have time travel without the time travelers at least meeting themselves. Like Post-Crisis and New 52 meeting each other and such. Oh yeah, he does kick, and yeah, Booster Gold can fight beings that are not human, obviously. Blasting power, lifting heavy stuff, and flight. Shields and armor allows him to take hits from Kryptonians. Want to get some easy lore on Rip Hunter's history? It goes through all the major events with his sister. One could say he thinks ahead too. One of his fail-safes, the existing in the final nanoseconds of the universe's existence, is a fortress known as the Vanishing Point. Rip Hunter used it as his headquarters where he could access nearly any moment in time. Though Booster utilized the fortress, he was unaware it was actually built by his future self and hidden at the end of time to ensure the safety of his family, his wife and son, who would grow up to become Rip Hunter. He was at a place that he didn't even know a future version of himself made. Like, let that sink in. Like, his future self made something his present self didn't know he made, but he's still using something his future self made. You know, talk about thinking ahead. He even doesn't really get rebooted thanks to his time travel nature. A lot of these characters that are time traveler type characters don't really get rebooted. Like a hard reboot, you know. Thanks to the Flashpoint event, it even states the technology in Booster's suit prevented him from changing with it. He could recall the original timeline and sought to fix it with the help of the Flash. Lot of history. Convergence explains it. You can pause the video right here if you want to read all of this, all his lore. I know it's just a cover art, but cover arts like this make me think that he's even farther up in strength than what I've stated in this video so far. His suit shields even can withstand punches from the Flash and more recent stuff. Even though Flash might not be moving his absolute hardest, they're having like a little scuffle and implied to be able to shoot in multiple different directions. Kind of fight the Flash, you know, kind of. Nothing to be taken too seriously. But he turned to Watchtower's defenses against the Flash here in this occasion. And the Time Sphere, which we see more adventures of him working with Superman, destroying these bots on Krypton with Supes that's depowered. His blasters can mess up Eradicators on Krypton. He has a lot of similar showing. One of his hexy things is time travel thing. One can say he's virtually immortal because of the vanishing point thing. Like, you would have to kill every version of him in every second of existence for him to really be gone for good. I mean, he's a time traveler. If you kill the present him, the younger him could kind of like change stuff, or just the younger him could be the current him, or the future him could be the current. Like, it's so many different ways for him to survive death, really. You know, that's why you can't really retcon him. The past, present, and the future him is kind of the same thing. Just because of the time travel stuff can't really be retconned. It's a lot of goofy stuff with that. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's cool that his future self made a safe haven that his current self didn't even know about, so his family will be safe? Like, that's crazy, outside of space and time, in an area that can't be retconned. The safe haven is a place where his family can go to and can't be retconned by universal destructive multiversal events. You know, respect Booster Gold. Maybe we can see more love for him in the future. Maybe we might see him in live action movies. Who knows? But hit a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Respect Booster Gold.